We're here tonight in the Melbourne CBD, and just a half-hour drive away, there's a prison called Ravenhall, where about 1,000 men are locked inside. And one of those men is named Shay, and I'm talking about Shay tonight because of a letter that he wrote last year from prison. And he wrote, "I can feel myself becoming even more disconnected from the world that one day I will be expected to reintegrate into, alone and isolated." Alone and isolated. This is a story we hear again and again from people in prison. Today, all across Australia, there are more than 44,000 people incarcerated in adult prisons. That's a higher number per capita than anywhere else in the West except the United States, bar none. And it's arguable that their experience inside prison is worse than anywhere else in the West. People in prison often sit in their cell for up to 23 hours a day. They have no access to the internet in Australian prisons, and really they have no opportunities for activities. They live in uncertainty and in isolation, in a place that doesn't prepare them to leave. It's a place that pushes them further to the margins of society. Nearly 1 in 2 people who will be released today in Australia will return to prison within 2 years. And we believe it's about time that changed. And so we launched Australia's national prison newspaper, which some of you, I think, have your hands on right now. We launched this paper alongside people who have been in prison before, people who want to make it better for those who are there today. We launched Australian national prison newspaper as a source of dignity and hope for incarcerated people across this country. We invited the Australian prison population to share their stories, as difficult as those stories often are, so that they could connect with each other in a place that really prevents connection. Bree was talking before about how important connection is, and prison is a place where there's so little of it, and it's so important to reinvigorate. Only 4 days ago, we got a letter from a man who's locked up here in Melbourne on remand. His name is Zane. And Zane told us, "I read your paper last night, and a part of me that was dead or dying suddenly felt alive and connected to others with struggles and trauma." Our organisation exists for people like Zane. Every week, our co-founder, Rosie Hessler, is just over here. She goes over to our mailbox, which is in the CBD just around the corner, and she collects the letters that people from prison send us. Rosie sits down with these letters and transcribes them, because they're handwritten, for publication in about time. One of them was from a man named David Wilkins, who's incarcerated in New South Wales. And David told us that he anxiously looks forward to every edition, that he reads the paper out loud for his friends in his cell block who can't read it themselves. David wrote, "About Time offers hope, solidarity, and a sense of dignity." And Shay, who I mentioned earlier, you'll remember from Ravenhall, he since wrote to us and he said, "About Time feels like a window into another place." Up in southern Queensland, there's a woman named Anastasia who recently sent us a really long and powerful letter. I'll just read a bit of it here. Anastasia said, "Sometimes when I'm alone, I enjoy writing to try and take my mind from where I am. Thanks a lot to About Time for providing me the opportunity to express myself and my thoughts to my fellow incarcerated people. Keep your head high, guys and girls. Let them lock up our bodies, but never our minds." Each month, we print and distribute About Time to 80 prisons across Australia. That's more than 20,000 copies to more than 30,000 potential readers at the moment. And every single day we get letters in response, every single day. We see these letters as the centerpiece of the paper, but there's a lot more as well. There are hard-hitting news articles, and one of our journalists is in the room tonight. There's information from experts about reintegration opportunities, physical health, mental health. There's a 2-page spread called Mob for First Nations peoples. Plus there's sport, culture, art, poetry, jokes, cartoons, so much of it written by people who are or were in prison. And one of those people is a man named Ronan Cruz, who was in and out of prison in Queensland for about 10 years. And we got a letter from him when he was inside, and Ronan told us, "I seem to be on a reckless path when I'm out to either die or come back to prison." Ronan is now out of prison, and he's a regular writer for us at About Time. We pay him competitive rates for all of his work. He's told us that About Time sustains him on the outside. And tonight we're asking for your help. If you can give any donation, no matter how small, you'll help pay for the stories we publish from people like Ronan. If you can give a larger donation, say $1,000, $2,000, even $5,000, you'll help us do many, many things. You'll help us expand access to the NT and WA, the two places we're not yet published. You'll help us pay for workshops that we hope to run inside prison, like for aspiring writers and artists. We want to run book clubs and all various different workshops inside. And you'll also help us develop future projects beyond the newspaper, one of which we hope to donate books and build small bookshelves inside Barron's cell blocks. So when people aren't allowed to go into the library, they can just walk into their cell block and pick up a book, which is something that happens in the US, but obviously not in Australia. When people enter prison, they lose so much of what makes them an individual. They're given a number, a uniform, a blank cell. About Time seeks to give them a way to share their stories, many for the first time. Our goal really is to inject some humanity into prison. Our goal is to be a source of connection and hope. That's why we exist, and we so hope you can help us. Thanks so much.